All right, we'll start recording. Where is the chat box? All righty, so can everyone see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Got it.
Beautiful. Alrighty, so basically what I wanted to do is we've been doing the weekly accountability and it's sort of been hit and miss. So I wanted to spend a bit of time over the next couple of weeks just sort of helping you guys nut out the steps that we need to take to achieve sustainable weight loss. And I guess the methods we sort of use for long-term success. So what we tend to find is, you know, a lot of people sort of come to our facility and they've tried everything under the sun, every sort of weight loss diet, challenge, 6 or 4 week, whatever it may be. And they've either achieved some results, but it hasn't been sustainable, or they didn't achieve any because it was very hard to sort of align that diet or challenge with their current lifestyle. And that's what we have to be mindful of. Whatever we do needs to be something that we can repeat consistently all year round. And it's not so much about the diet that you use or the method that you sort of implement. It's about creating strategies around your work, your family, your social life, and having the tools to be able to sort of adjust on the fly. I've spoken to a few of the clients that I'm sort of working one-on-one with at the moment in regards to nutrition and, you know, the ability to be able to adapt. So obviously I've had a big change in my life with Caden coming about, and I knew that time was going to be hectic. And I was like, okay, well, I need to just turn that dial down a little bit on my diet and be open to different things. And that's where I started playing around with different cereals. We prepared and ordered a whole heap of my Muscle Chef meals for 2 weeks. And because I'm aware of, you know, what my eating habits are, what my daily activity levels are, how many training sessions I'm going to be doing each week, roughly how many steps I'm getting in, what my calorie and macronutrient goals are, I'm able to adjust really quickly and put, I guess, some steps in place to allow me to stay on track or even maintain. So like a period, that sort of first period where we had Caden, the goal was literally to maintain where I had gotten to at that point in time, not continuously diet. Just like you guys should be trying to work out like what your maintenance calories are right now and work towards those over this Christmas period, as opposed to trying to go into a calorie deficit, be really strict and regimented and go through this big social time of year where we're going to be eating food, having some drinks and enjoying time with family and friends. Now, for most of us, if we were to keep ourselves accountable and we went into, say, maintenance calories, what we'd actually find is that we're probably going to drop some fat and some weight anyway, because the majority of the time we're possibly in a surplus. So it's not like right now there isn't the opportunity to lose some weight. There most certainly is. But these are the kind of things that following like a paleo or a keto diet or doing a 6-week challenge don't teach you and don't educate you on, right? They just sort of throw you this guideline that's quite often restrictive and expect you to be able to go into Christmas or a busy time at work or, you know, when, for example, me, I have a kid and life gets turned upside down and it's like, well, fuck, what now? Where do I go from here? So that's what I want to spend a little bit of time with you guys going over and hopefully give you the tools to be able to sort of lose some weight and get on track with your goals. So what most of us think we need is like fad diets. And now not all diets are fad. but there's a lot on the market. But, you know, diets include, you know, paleo, keto, intermittent fasting, all those kind of things. We think we need restrictive eating, so we need to cut out the foods that we enjoy. Another word that gets thrown around a lot is clean eating, right? So we're literally, you know, getting rid of sauces, condiments, fats, you know, sugars, all those kind of things. And again, that to me falls under the restrictive eating banner. A 6-week challenge, it's like, okay, I feel like if I'm going to lose weight, I need to really focus for 6 weeks, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop drinking, I stop socializing, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week, I'm going to do an extra walk a day. Like, it's just chaotic, okay? And that's not the way we live, right? How often or how long for the rest of your life are you going to be training 7 days a week, trying to hit 20,000 steps, not drinking alcohol and never seeing your friends? Like, you know, it doesn't teach you anything. Supplements, we're always looking for fat loss supplements, fat burners, fat burning protein, fat burning pre-workout, all the rest of it. There's only 2 supplements that have a lot of data on them, which are beneficial, and this doesn't include whey protein, that's one of them, and that's creatine and beta-alanine. Okay, so creatine helps promote muscle growth. It also helps with short intensity exercise. Beta-alanine is more so for like your endurance style workouts, or where you're working for long periods of time and you're getting a build up of that lactate or the hydrogen ions in the blood, and your body can't remove them. Okay, so that's what that's there for. And the other one would be, it's not really a supplement, but caffeine. Okay, and it's more of a performance based supplement that you would use to get the most out of your session. So there's no such thing as a fat burning protein and all the rest of it. Let's get that out of our head. Cardio or HIIT training. All right. We feel like we need to do cardio to lose weight because we're sweating. All right. One thing I want to talk to you guys today about is if we look at our total daily energy expenditure. So our total daily energy expenditure is made up of our current body composition. So our weight, our body fat percentage, how much obviously indicates then how much of your weight is lean muscle mass, your height, your age, and then there's like the thermal effect of food, which is something that's a little bit out of our control, but most certainly eating high quality foods, you know, so foods your body has to spend more time breaking down and digesting, that definitely burns more calories. But then the other one is like your daily activity. So your so your incidental activity, sorry. So me talking with my hands right now, or me, you know, getting up and out of this chair to go inside, walking to work, all that. And then your planned exercise, right? So we combine those things together, and that tells us how many calories you are expending every day. Now, if we want to maintain our weight, we eat to that. We want to lose weight, we put ourselves in a 10 to 20% deficit. We want to gain weight, we put ourselves in a 10 to 20% surplus. Now, where I'm going with this is that if we look at planned exercise, I don't care what your Fitbit or your Apple Watch, whatever it be, tells you, you do not burn 1,000 calories in a session. You're probably more looking around the 200 to 300 mark, depending on what you're doing and your current fitness levels, all the rest of it. All right. So let's say your total daily energy expenditure is 2,400. Only 200 to 300 calories of that comes from your planned exercise. So it's not a bigger part of the picture as we think. It's why we don't use exercise to out-eat bad food. Okay, we don't use exercise to put ourselves in a calorie deficit. We achieve that through our food, right? And then also trying to lead an active lifestyle. All right, so spending a little bit more time focusing on getting up, going for planned walks, you know, riding a bike, hiking on the weekend with friends, kicking the balls with the kids, whatever it may be. All right, so let's keep that in mind. It's not a bigger part of the picture as you may think. What you guys really need is awareness. Okay, so we need awareness around our current goal, and then we need awareness around where we are now. Okay, so we can try and draw a straight line from point A to point B. What we need is education. Now, when I say education, I don't think that we have an information problem. I think we have a taking action problem. So we all know the difference between right and wrong. We all know that we shouldn't be overindulging in certain foods. We all know that we've sat on our ass all day, right? What we do need, though, is education on how to apply some of the nutritional strategies, the fundamentals of nutrition to our life, all right? My life's different to your life, different to Kat, to Jess's, whatever it may be. How do we take these fundamentals and implement them into our life, right? How do we work our diet around social events? How do we add a few drinks in to our diet? Okay, what happens when life gets really stressful? All right, that's what you need education around. You also need education around, I believe, our mindset around food. There's no good or bad foods. Okay, like, you know, education around why we don't need to restrict carbohydrates, right? On why it's important to try and increase our daily protein goal. All right, little things like that. You need strategies to help you create a deficit around your current lifestyle. So, you know, are you working a desk job? Okay, are you a tradie on site? Right, because those two different lifestyles lead to two different activity levels, which then changes your total daily energy expenditure. What we also need to be mindful of, someone that is a tradie might injure themselves at work, so they go from being very active to then sitting behind the desk all day. So we need strategies to reduce or to calculate what the change is in that daily energy expenditure, and then recalculate our deficit to make sure that we're not then overeating. We also need behavioral changes, all right? So someone that has a lean body composition, is healthy and happy, they're planning their food ahead, okay? They're not just winging it every day, right? They're getting up when their alarm goes off, okay? They're going for added walks. They're living an active lifestyle. They most certainly don't spend Saturday and Sunday on the couch. They're training probably on average 4 to 5 times per week. So what we need to do is go, okay, what are my current behaviors? And what are the behaviors of the person that I'm trying to become? All right, we need to start to implement some of those into our current way of living and how we think. We then need some accountability, all right? And accountability is extremely important in these early stages because some of the things are going to be new to you. They're not going to be life-changing because we don't want to be like turning your life upside down. But, you know, you're going to have days where you're going to fall off, or you're going to have days where something comes up and you want to be able to ring me and go, hey, Dave, I've got this on today. How do I work my calories in and around it? Should I even be worried about it? Like, you know, someone might ring me and go, hey, Dave, it's Christmas. Should I be tracking my alcohol on Christmas Day? Fuck no. Enjoy it. Let's be careful around the days leading up to and after. But that kind of day, we want to kick back and relax. And the next day or the day after Boxing Day, we want to get back on track. All right. And that's what you need guidance with. Do we have any questions on that so far? Nope. Beautiful. You can unmute yourself at any time. Any questions?
No.
All good. No, all done.
That all make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, cool. So where I want to start with you guys today is creating awareness again. Okay, so what's point B? What's the goal? Most people have this sorted, but I never think it's in enough detail. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to work out like how much weight do we want to lose? How much muscle do we want to gain? Are we working towards improving our health, and how are we measuring this? I.e. energy, focus, libido, like all those kind of things. Improved performance, what are we doing? Are we strength testing, fitness? How are we measuring it? Are we increasing our 1RM or a faster 2K time? And how long? Like, what's your timeline on achieving this? I think a lot of us don't do this because we're scared of failure. We don't want to put pressure on ourselves to try and achieve 5 kilos in 12 weeks because if we don't get there, you know, I've failed, I've let myself down, I'm not good at this, I'm always supposed to be this way, etc., etc. Same with the strength and the fitness testing, right? We need clarity around what we want to achieve, because it's then going to dictate how far we need to turn that dial. All right. So we talk about our diet not being an on and off switch. Okay. When we go on holidays, we don't just turn it off. Okay. We dial it down. All right. And that might mean we don't track for the holidays. All right. That might mean that, you know, we're having some alcohol. We take a little bit of time off training, like whatever it may be. Same goes here. If we've got a 5-week goal and we want to look good come February next year, well, that's going to indicate, based on where you are now, how far we have to turn that dial up. All right. I was having a conversation with a client the other day, and they have a really, really steady decline in weight, right? But it's over a long period of time and they feel like they're getting nowhere. And my response was, you're doing all the right things, but we mightn't be doing enough of them. Okay, so if you want faster results, we can achieve them, but we need to turn the dial up. The other thing is, you keep avoiding telling me what the exact goal is. All right, and if I know what the exact goal is, I can give you a rough estimate of time based off what you're willing to do, because there needs to be a level of your commitment to. What are you willing to commit to? All right, and that's why these conversations, and we did goal setting for a long time, but people just didn't do it properly. And I think whether you tell me or not, it's something that you need to sit down and work out for yourself right now. Is your nutrition holding you back from you know, you looking the way you want to look? Is your nutrition holding you back from performing your best in the gym? Or is your nutrition, you know, I guess, not aiding your recovery? Okay, there's plenty of things that come under that banner, but find that reason why you want to work towards it. Find out how quickly you're going to get there, what it looks like, how we're measuring it, how much, how little, and then let's set some targets based off what you're currently doing. So we need clarity, complete clarity around point B. Okay, I hear it all the time. I want to lose weight. I don't feel good. I don't have energy. I don't like looking at myself in the mirror, all the rest of it. And that stuff's fantastic. But what's our first point to get to? Because one of my clients at the moment has been putting off doing all this stuff for ages, and it's taken us a long time to get to where we want to be, but then now getting some results. Now, all of a sudden, they don't want to have as many drinks on the weekend. They want to plan their food. Now, instead of eating whatever they want on Sunday, they're eating the food that they're prepping for the week ahead. Okay, and we're starting to get some quicker results. So by setting a goal, and it might be 5 kilos in 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it may be, and ticking that off, you start to believe that you can do this. All right, and that's extremely important. Okay, because there is a far greater problem with fat loss from a psychological point of view than there is around knowing what to do. Okay, it is over time we've built this poor relationship with food, our self-belief, our self-worth, our confidence, certain adversities or certain activities that happen lead us to emotional eating, all these kind of things. And that's what you need to work on. Not so much, do I need to go a low carb diet? Do I need to do a 6-week challenge? All right. There's a thing called the habit loop, and it's a trigger, and it's a routine, and it's a reward. All right. And a fad diet or a 6-week challenge eliminates the reward. So the reward being, I've had a really stressful day. I feel like shit. I'm going to eat chocolate. My partner just broke up with me. I feel like shit. I'm going to go get drunk. I've injured myself. I can't come to training at the moment. What's the point of eating well? All right. So we try and eliminate that reward. We try and get rid of the chocolate, the alcohol, whatever, but we're never actually looking at the trigger or the routine. What makes me want to eat that food? How am I feeling when I want to eat that food? Okay. And that leads us in to our next part, which is point A. Now, everyone skips point A. This is where we currently are. What does your current diet look like? What eating habits have you formed over time? What is our social life like? How many standard drinks do we consume a week? Do we lead an active lifestyle? What kind of behaviors do we currently have? Do we currently train, and how often? What's our current body composition? What is your current occupation? How many hours do you do of work? Etc., etc. So earlier in the piece, we discussed how we format or determine how many calories you expend each day. All these things impact those, right? So no one ever wants to track their food because it's going to bring and raise awareness to where they're going wrong. Okay. Most of the time, they also think they're going to get in trouble if they're eating the right thing. And they're eating the wrong thing, sorry. I finally just got a client to track their weekends, right? Not once has this person been in trouble for what they have over the weekend, but what it has highlighted as that, yes, they put in a lot of effort Monday to Friday, but then it all comes undone. And the weekend was literally undoing all the hard work this person had done during the week. Now, we didn't restrict them socializing or do anything on the weekend. We built foundations to ensure that they didn't do as much damage. We mitigated the damage, right? But for ages, I reviewed this person's MyFitnessPal and they were always in a deficit. But they were either putting on weight or maintaining weight. Science doesn't lie. If you're eating in a deficit, doesn't matter what, no underlying health issues, no nothing will stop you from losing weight. Okay, there is things that you're not entering in your MyFitnessPal. Now, this person who is literally banging my head up against the wall, having repeat conversations, and this until this person entered everything. This person is now losing weight because we're able to build strategies into the weekend because we have awareness around what is happening. We can review the week, go, why didn't you lose weight? Or why have you put on weight? Or, why didn't you feel that good? And we can review the whole diary and make changes around that. Okay, so what does your current diet look like? And what that means is, where are you going wrong? Where are you over consuming and putting yourself into maintenance, or a calorie surplus where you put on weight? Now, for most of us, we're probably maintaining weight, and, hats off to you, right? You're not putting weight on. Okay, so you're almost there. We just need to make a few tweaks within your diet. What eating habits have we formed over time? Okay, like does the 3 o'clock, energy dump come in the afternoon because you haven't had enough protein and fiber throughout the day to fill you up? Or did you skip breakfast? All of a sudden it's 3 o'clock, you're sitting at the desk, you're itching, you're tired, you run down and you go to the cafeteria. Okay, when you've had a stressful day, have you told yourself it's okay to go home and overindulge in food or alcohol? All right. Have you restricted carbohydrates Monday to Friday because you think they're bad, but you're overeating them on the weekend? Conversation I had the other day was, I said, you need to have more fruit. Oh, no, I heard fruit's really bad for you. Yeah, but so's having the burgers and the alcohol and everything else you're doing on the weekend. So why are you avoiding this? These are the kind of habits that we're talking about. What's your social life look like? Are we going out too often? Are we drinking too much? How many standard drinks are you consuming, right? Like, are we having 10 plus a week? All these little things are little things that we can start to work on. 12 standard drinks a week. Cool. Can we get it back to 10? I'm eating out 6 times a week with friends. Cool. Can we get that back to 4? Do you lead an active lifestyle? No, work behind the desk. Awesome. Where can we fit in a 15-minute walk every day? Okay. What kind of behaviors do you have? I sleep through my alarm. I'm always tired. Okay. Get the fuck up. Right? And when someone has more energy, they're waking up on their first alarm. All right. Do we currently train? Yes. But are we putting in the required effort at training, or are we just going there to tick a box? Let's not avoid what your current body composition is, because that's going to give us more information around, you know, how many calories you should be consuming. And what's your current occupation? How many hours do you work? You know, most people, 8 to 9 hour day, 2 hours in travel. So 1 hour before and after, that's 11 hours. You've still got 12 hours in your day, right? If you're sleeping for 8, that still leaves you with 4. What are you doing for the other 4 hours? Can we change some things there? All right. These are all some things that we can start to work on. Now, here's your 2 different options we have around taking this journey. Option 1 is you've got all this squiggly line going up and down. We're doing loops, going backwards on ourselves, trying to get to point A because we're not creating awareness. All right. We haven't set a solid goal that's detailed and outlined, and we're hiding things. We're not telling Coach Dave how many calories we're actually consuming. We're not tracking our food. We're not looking at how many steps we're doing a week. We're not being mindful when we go to the gym as if we're putting in the effort while we're there. We're just ticking off a box, right? Or you got option 2. We create a really solid goal. You give me all the data and information that I need to see where you're currently at, and we can draw a straight line from point A to point B. This is why creating awareness is so important. We need it on both ends of the spectrum, okay? Because without it, we're going to go in loops and circles and leaps and bounds. You tell me you're here and that's the goal, and point A, so someone not entering exactly what they're eating in the MyFitnessPal, I'll shoot a line. Turns out that line goes nowhere near where it's supposed to be. It's nowhere near point B because I don't have the accurate information. No one ever gets in trouble for recording these things. But what we need to be doing is we need to be using MyFitnessPal mindfully. Okay, so we need to be entering our food, reviewing the nutrition panel, getting a good understanding of what calorie and macronutrients are in the foods that we actually enjoy. And we need to be putting in all the bad things as well. Okay, so we can revisit it at the end of the week and say, okay, well, I mightn't have lost weight for this last month because there's numerous days where I leveled out, right, by over-consuming on the weekend. 2, how many steps are we doing? Now, with the steps, not all steps are created equal, right? So me walking around this table right now compared to me going and walking around the hills of Karela are very different. Okay, I'm going to spend more energy going up and down hills than walking on the straight. Okay, but what it does is it gives us an indication of what your activity is like, right? Like I said previously, if you've gone from being really active and working on a job site to now being a project manager in an office, well, I'm sorry, but your lifestyle has changed and you're not burning as many calories. So you've got 2 options. We either consume less food or we try to put in some planned walks through each day. But if we're not being mindful of that, like think back for the past 8 weeks. Has there been weeks where you trained 5 times a week and got 3 walks in, and then the next week you only trained twice and got no walks in? Well, what made you think in that week that you could consume the same amount of food? You can't. So if we're only looking at the food, but we're not looking at the lifestyle we're leading, we're going to lead ourselves astray as well. All right, so that's why point A is just as important. Now, like I said, training, we may only expend 200-300 calories. So it's in your best interest that when you show up, you train with intent and hit the stimulus. Don't just go to the gym to tick the box. All right, so what we need to be doing right now, and we can do it leading into Christmas, because like I said, I guarantee you, if we start to work out these things and we get towards your maintenance calories, you guys are going to start to lose weight, and it's going to set you up for a very happy 2021. First step, create awareness around point B, around point A, then allow me to review it and help you put the steps in place to get there. Now we can open up to some questions. Cool, Min, what do we got?
Don't know.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you can sort of see why if we're not sort of aware of what we're currently eating and how often we're training, you might be doing you might think you've been doing all the hard work by attending the gym and eating well during the week, but it could be those one or two things that we're not monitoring that could be stopping us from losing weight or possibly putting it on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What do you think?
I've noticed that this week, like since I started tracking.
What did you notice, lovely?
Just like being more mindful of the food that I'm consuming.
Yeah.
And then now that I am tracking, trying to plan ahead.
Yeah, cool. That's fantastic. And I had a look like through your food diary, and there's some, the exciting thing is there's some really cool little areas that we can add some improvements to without sort of turning your life upside down.
Sweet.
And just working towards some little goals and just playing the long game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fantastic. And yeah, definitely MyFitnessPal, when we are tracking it, can be a really good accountability tool. But just be mindful that we don't want to get too hung up on it, because the goal is that eventually we don't need it, because we're aware of all the things we discussed today. And then also like what calories, macros are in the foods that we enjoy. Like I know straight away, like if I've had a week where I'm spent more time behind the desk, then I just subconsciously now just reduce the amount of food I'm eating, right? And I'm not necessarily training to burn calories. That's not a good thing to be doing at all. And I'm not saying we need to earn our calories or earn our food, but if I sat around a little bit more today, then I probably don't need as much as what I did if I got to walk in and hit a really solid session. Beautiful. Let's go, Jess.
I have no questions, but no, it was really good. It's made me think I need to look at my goals again and where I'm at again now.
Absolutely. Give yourself a little bit more clarity around what you want to achieve. And then, like I said, you can you set your goal and then go back and create this awareness. And generally I say 21 days is a good probably amount of time to be creating awareness for, because, everyone, let's be realistic, life's all over the shop for a lot of us. So our weeks do change quite dramatically. So, it's no good saying, okay, well, this is a regular week for me. Let's look at it over 3 weeks and try and find some trends. And then you go, okay, well, it's Christmas. What's realistic for me to do right now? How far can I turn that dial up? And then set some good goals and then build strategies to allow you to enjoy Chrissy.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. Sue.
Howdy.
How are we?
Good, good. I'm just finding, because of my knee and not being able to really move, that's where my, issue is really.
Well, it is. It kind of, in your case, it does kind of turn your life upside down a little bit, right? Because like we said, planned training doesn't expend that many calories. And then we add a sedentary lifestyle in. So what we basically do is we work out basically what your BMR is, and then for your activity level, we times it, right? So if you're sedentary, it might be like times 1.1, right? Or an athlete will be times 1.9. So you can see how there can be quite a big difference in what the calories are you might be able to consume. So in your case, it really is that we do have to sort of reduce calories, but also implementing strategies like you're doing, like hitting the pool. Yeah, regularly. So, but yeah, being mindful of those kind of things and going, okay, well, you are in a little bit of a comfort spot. You know, maybe get into the pool every day, still doing it 2 sessions. But yeah, then sort of reducing your calories a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm finding adding the yogurt and the berries with the whip, that made a huge difference.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm going to talk to you guys about over the coming weeks. And that's that in this day and age, like the idea that we can all sit down and meal prep every single meal is just ridiculous. I mean, it's very hard for you to sit there and have a conversation with me right now, isn't it, Sue? You got someone climbing all over you. So like, you know, the whole good or bad foods, like cereal was demonized for a very long time. It's actually not bad. Bread was demonized for a long time. It's not bad. Yogurt, ice cream, like there's so many good sources of protein, fiber, you know, on the market right now that don't involve you eating boiled broccoli and you know, cauliflower. So there's some things that we're going to address over the coming weeks too. But that's good. Increasing your plant fiber and your protein will definitely reduce the hunger, right? Because it's going to help fill you up for a bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Beautiful. Katrina, last one.
How good's that? So I guess for me, listening to you has made me reflect. I, like Jess, need to go back and reassess some of my goals. But I make no secret that I seem to do really well for a long period of time, and then, I don't know, life happens and I fall off the wagon, so to speak. I think last week for me was a bit of a wake-up call as to how much I rely on my food for recovery and for my training. So I think that that's going to be something I need to look at and, you know, work out just how important my food is and use that as the basis for the months ahead.
Yeah. Look, you hear people talk all the time, right? It's like, you don't want to have a plan B, you know, like all these successful business people, like just really fucking zone in on what you're doing and just dial it in and don't lose sidetrack. We need to have a plan B for our nutrition. Okay. And that's why creating awareness is so important. Okay. So, you know, for a couple of my clients like Caroline, we set up like what I called a survival kit, right? And it was just like, no cooking time, food that ticked the boxes that she needed for the day that she could just sort of grab out of the cupboard, right? We're talking yogurts, we're talking Crustkits with a nut butter, you know, we're talking some fruit, you know, all these kind of things, and just having them there ready to go. Like at my desk at work, I've got cereal, I've got my milk, I've got some strawberries, some blueberries, I've got my Crustkits, my nut butter, all these kind of things. So like, I don't care. Like if I haven't had cereal that day because I had the opportunity to eat at home and it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon and I haven't got the chance to go out, I'm going to have my Wheat Bix, right? Like, so we need to be prepared. We have like these what if situations that happen all the time. And that's what you're talking about last week. So, and then the other thing I would suggest to you as well is let's review what you're doing. Like, if you can only do it for a matter of weeks, maybe it's not sustainable. Okay. And maybe we need to look at what your plan is. Okay. And make some adjustments to it. Okay. Because it doesn't have to be that way. And if it's something you can only stick to for a few weeks, well then sort of rings alarm bells that it's not really suitable for you know, maybe your lifestyle, being a busy working mum.
Yeah.
So these are some things that we can go over the next few weeks. And just like what you've all sort of said now as well, is this isn't just something we do once. Okay. And that's another thing we are all terrible at too. Like, we never revisit the goal. How close are we? How far away are we? Do we move the goalpost because it's not achievable? Have we achieved it? And then we don't review it. It's like we all think we've got X amount of calories that we can consume all year round. I hear it all the time. My calorie deficit's 1,900 calories. So you live the same lifestyle the whole year round. You don't take holidays. There's not days where you only train twice. There's not days where you didn't do as many steps, right? To think that we have this magical number that's our weight loss number, that we can consume for, 12 months, is incorrect, right? So we need to keep reviewing it. And that's why creating awareness around like point A, where you are now, is important. Even if you just do it every month. Review, how many sessions did I get in last month? Was I spending a little bit more time behind the chair? Did I have a week off? How many times did I hit my calorie goal? And then we go, okay, what can we do to sort of rectify that? Maybe those calories are too low. Maybe achieving 5 sessions a week's too much. Maybe going for an hour walk a day is too much. Can we cut it back to half hour and pick up an extra day? Right? These are the kind of strategies that I work with the people that allow me to work with them at this point in time. They're the kind of strategies that we're building in. It's not necessarily me telling you what to eat all the time, okay? Because we all know the difference between right or wrong, and we all have different types of foods that we enjoy. So we need to keep that in mind as well. So I think we'll leave it there today. Did everyone find that helpful?
Yeah, it was good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, something you're keen to do regularly?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, well, Corda, I'll get you over some suggestions today.
Yep.
Anyone else that wants me to review their My Fitness Power, please let me know. And we'll go from there.
Okay.
Thanks,
Perfect.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
DB.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. See ya.
See